What up, everybody? How's it going? So I was in the middle of like this kind of long, tiring work day, and I thought I'd just take a break and just kind of sit down and breathe and talk about what it is that I do. I'm self-employed. Most times I love it, sometimes I hate it. So I just kind of wanted to share my experience with you all.
You want to get it, but you ain't going to do nothing about sitting there. You got to get up, you know what I'm saying? And get yours, because it's yours, you know what I
mean? I've been self-employed for about 2 years, maybe a little bit more than 2 years. I kind of took inventory of who I am and what I like, what I don't like, and I'm a Pisces. I'm very creative, I'm very not that into commitment, and I like to go from one thing to the next, and I didn't really think that I'd find a job that would kind of allow me to do me as much as I'd like to, so that's kind of what let me down. I've always had sort of an entrepreneurial spirit, and it kind of runs in my family, so I'm grateful for that, but I feel like I made the decision very young, which was a good thing, because when you're young, you're a lot less, fearful of what might happen, and while you're young, you have less responsibility and obligation, so I'm definitely glad that I'm, figuring this all out now. So I got started working for myself, like I said, about 2 years ago. At the time, I knew that pretty soon I was going to be leaving the country. It was in my plans to do some extensive traveling, so pretty much started doing research and found my first gig online, which was perfect. Hoped that, let that turn into another gig and then another gig and then another gig, and so it really worked out for about a year and a few months straight where I just had work back to back, and it was amazing, I am a freelance writer and a social media consultant, so I kind of marry those two things into one. I'm really good at writing. I love writing, love reading. So for any given client, basically I develop a web strategy or a social media campaign that gets the word out about their product, their service, their business, their deal, whatever's going on. And that's really cool. My clients have been really big, television networks, and they've also been like really small, nonprofit organizations. So it really just kind of depends, but I love it. The main reason why I love what I do is because I own my time, I own my skills, it's all up to me. And for a lot of people, I think that's a lot of responsibility. Not everyone can handle it, but I enjoy it. I like to challenge myself. I determine how much money I make as a freelancer. I can work more to make more, or I can, chill out, work less, and make less. I mean, it's really up to me, which is amazing. I don't have to wait for someone to give me a raise. I don't have to go through evaluations. I don't have to report somewhere every day. So that's why I really love it. Another reason why I love it is because, like I mentioned before, I like to go from one thing to another. So just when I'm getting bored, like with one client or one project, it's time for another. And that's been the most amazing thing for me because it allows me to be creative and allows me to pour myself wholly into whatever it is that I'm working on, because I know it's only temporary and something else is going to come along that'll be equally great. So I consider myself a hustler, and so it's cool to kind of witness my own progression from my very first project up until now. I mean, a few weeks ago I landed my first celebrity client, which is like a huge deal for me, and so I'm having a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of times when this thing gets overwhelming, and the biggest thing right now, since I'm still fairly young as a freelancer, is just keeping the work flowing. I mean, like I said, I had probably like a year and a few months where things were, you know, perfect, back to back to back to back. And then after that, I kind of hit a dry spell, right? And so that's when I learned a lot about, you know, what I need to do as far as my finances to make sure that my bills are always paid, and, you know, things like that that are not so regular, or not as regular as they would be if I had a job. Like, I don't get a paycheck every, you know, 1st and 15th. That when I first, you know, started this whole thing of working for myself, I was a terrible boss, and I would go like 2 weeks without doing a damn thing and be like frustrated and, you know, be behind on my deadlines, and it was totally all my fault, right? But it's a learning curve. So now I kind of know myself a little bit better and how I like to work. So I wouldn't really suggest this lifestyle or career path to anyone who likes for things to be more concrete. Like I said, there's a whole lot of risk in it, and you kind of have to have guts to stick it out sometimes, because when the money's not coming in and all you want to do is work and you can't, it's tough, you know? So I definitely wouldn't say that it's for everyone, but I do think that everyone has the capacity to look at their own skill set and say, what can I do for myself and earn money and love, you know, the work that I'm doing. So pretty much that's my video diary of what it's like to be self-employed, and I'm always willing to share, you know, what it is that I've learned. So if you're thinking about it, or if you just have questions, or if you have advice, definitely send me a message so that we can talk, okay? See you guys later. Bye.
You want to get it, but you ain't going to do nothing about sitting there. You got to get up, you know what I'm saying? And get yours, because it's yours, you know what I mean?